doorbell. El timbre. Thank you. Gracias. It's a letter, una carta, from my friend who lives far away. Just like this is a letter from my friend who lives far away, the Bible is a letter, a very special letter from our very best friend, God. And just like this letter was written especially for me, God wrote the Bible, His letter to us, especially for you and for me. But why did God send this special letter to us? The Bible is our answer book. Come on, kids, let's take a look. This is the Bible, La Biblia, God's special letter to us. And in it, we can find so many answers. Here's our verse of the day. 2 Timothy 3:16. Segundo de Timoteo 3:16. It says 2 Timothy because in the Bible there are two books named after Timothy, Timothy 1 and Timothy 2. So here it is saying we need to look in Timothy 2, 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy is found in the second part of the Bible, the New Testament. So here we are, 2 Timothy. Now we need to find the big number 3. 1, 2, turning the page, 3. And it says we need to find the little number 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And the verse says, all scripture is God-breathed and useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. That verse had so many big words. I know. We'll read it again. And each time that we get to a big word, una palabra grande, we'll stop. And we'll talk about it, okay? All scripture. Scripture is just another word for saying the Bible. So all the Bible. All scripture is God-breathed. God-breathed? I know. Take a deep breath. Now let it out. When you breathe, you're breathing air in and air out. When you talk, the air comes from inside you and comes out of your mouth, making sounds to make words. So God-breathed just means the very words that God was saying. So all scripture is God-breathed and is useful. Useful just means what we use it for or what it's good for. Useful for teaching. Teaching, to learn something new. If you have a teacher, your teacher teaches you something new. All scripture is God-breathed and useful for teaching, rebuking. Rebuking? Have you ever had your mom or dad or somebody scold you and say, what you did was not right, or that was very naughty? That is rebuking, telling you when you did something wrong. So rebuke just means to tell you when you've done something wrong. So all scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting. Correcting. Correcting just means make something right. For example, when you're writing your name, if you accidentally make one of your letters wrong, you need to erase it and write it again to make it right. That's correcting. Correcting the letter that you wrote wrong. All scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training. Training? Well, if you're in ballet class, you're training to be a ballerina. Or if you're training your dog, to do tricks, you're teaching him to do tricks. You're showing him how to do tricks, training him to obey commands. And the last one, training in righteousness. Righteousness just means to do what is right. So let's read it again using the easier words that we learned, okay? All of the Bible is filled with the very words of God, and it is good for telling us when we're wrong, showing us how to make it right, and it teaches us to do what is right. 2 Timothy 3:16. That was a verse that had some big words in it, but we were able to talk and figure out what it means. So let's put our Bible back on the shelf. The Bible is our truth book. Let's put it back in the book nook. God sent us this special letter, the Bible, to teach us what is right and wrong, to show us when we've done something wrong, and show us how to live the right way. Now we know that the Bible is a special letter from God.